Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the sit down. Today's episode is extremely important if you are in real estate, you're currently thinking about buying a house, and this is about title curatives. And no one talks about this, and it's extremely important to talk about this because this is ultimately where due diligence does wonders. And I will tell you this, if you're looking to sell a property, you want to have a level of due diligence in that process to speed things along. Now, this is where you have to understand where delays come from. And if you've been doing real estate or you're interested in buying or selling and you don't understand why you're getting these delays. And the delays can happen for numerous reasons. And ultimately, one of the things that you promise as a seller, sellers promise this to the buyer. They promise, hey, I'm going to give you marketable title. Now, most people hear the word marketable title and they just iron curtain it and they go, I don't know what that means, so we're not going to talk about it. It just means, the title company will do what they do or the attorney will do what they do, and that's it. But then you start seeing these delays. You start seeing delay on delay on delay, and you don't know what to do. And ultimately, you start getting confused. You start getting frustrated, like anybody would. Anyone would start getting frustrated. You see these, it's with the title company. We're going to clean up these curatives, blah blah blah. And what does that mean? Now, ultimately, there are all different types of title curatives that can come up that can start to delay the actual closing. Now, because there's so many different types, it's important that you're with a team of professionals that know how to clean up these title curatives in a orderly fashion. But understand that if these things come up, it's important to know about them ahead of time. So, things to start talking about if you are selling a property. If you have solar panels, that's something to bring up. One, obviously, everyone's going to see that you have solar panels. I mean, hopefully. You never know. But if you have a UCC lien on them, that's important. Those are liens on your house. So just make sure if you have solar panels, you know, tell everyone, hey, I don't own these. There's a UCC lien on the house, and those sometimes have to be transferred over. And it's a big process. It could take, sometimes, depending on the company, it could take a significant amount of time. If you recently, if you did a refinance recently, let people know, because what can happen is during the COVID pandemic, everyone started to do a refinance, but a lot of them were not done right. So if you recently refinanced, we're noticing that things are not getting filed right, they're not discharging mortgages, and it's ultimately delaying closings. Forbearance, if you were ever in forbearance, let people know. I always tell everyone that I've ever worked with, I want to know all the bad stuff up front. Tell me all the bad stuff so I can fix it. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to solve problems. I'm here to fix problems. But I can't fix it if I don't know about it. And you have to understand that the more due diligence you do, the more you disclose, the smoother your process is going to be. And ultimately, having those things ready. If you're in a short sale situation, same thing. I just want to know. It's not that I can't solve a short sale. I can solve a short sale easy. But I need to know what we're looking at. I need to know who the debt collectors are. I need to know what's the amount that they owe. And then ultimately, that's something that I can workshop through. But when you're in a real estate transaction, disclose everything. Another thing, bankruptcies. You need to tell them if you were in a bankruptcy. That you need to, everything will get found out at some point. And understand that that is the point of marketable title. That the buyer does not want any of the baggage, this past stuff. All of that has to be resolved. That's what the buyer and the seller are agreeing to. That all of this past stuff is never going to come back on the current buyer. So the more we know about the property, and for all of my clients, I always tell them this, and depending on how long they've lived in the property, I always say this: you have a box of real estate stuff somewhere in your house. I'm quite sure you do. Bring me that box because I want to look through it. I will be able to piece together whatever you have and actually workshop it through. Another thing to note on this is if the person had paid off the mortgage, and this is usually an older person, completely free and clear. What mortgage companies used to do is they used to mail the satisfaction of mortgage to the owner's house for them to record, and they never would record them. That's why that box of real estate stuff is so important, because if they're telling you, oh, this house is free and clear, I don't owe a dollar on it, which is probably true. That's probably true. But if they didn't record it properly, that's an issue. That's where that box of real estate stuff really comes in handy, because you can take that discharge that's tucked away between the filing cabinet and the desk. Somewhere between there, there's a discharge. There's a satisfaction of mortgage tucked away there. And this is something that if you are thinking about listing your house, you're thinking about selling your house, talk to somebody who is who knows about these things, and you can workshop them through. Even if you're in a difficult real estate transaction, these are things that you need to know. So if you have any questions with this, if you need to know more, please reach out to me on this one. This is definitely one of my stronger topics. I usually enjoy a more challenging transaction. The easy ones are always, obviously, everyone loves the easy ones, but complicated transactions usually steers people away. But it's all on what you know and how to solve a problem. And that's ultimately what you are looking for. You're looking for someone to solve a problem. And that's why you need a really good, sound team if you're dealing with real estate issues that are above normal. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. And as always, stay free.